might be a little crusty dusty, but okay.
It's all right.
So it's gonna be the discussion of in power or of power or whatnot.
Discussion. Discussion is power.
Okay.
It's been a little bit since we did one of these because I feel like we've had enough content on the podcast itself not to have one. But whenever we do have a podcast, we always take the conversation after the fact. And last night was one of those times to where we wanted to record, but we also got back into a conversation from our episode 005 about sexuality. We brought up a good discussion and conversation about it, and we wanted to expand it more.
Do you want me to tell the story of what happened?
Yeah, but you gotta speak louder than that.
Okay, fine. Do you want me to tell you the story of what happened?
Yes.
Okay. So what happened was I joined TikTok and it was purely out of FOMO, and then I went viral, right? Got to prefix all of that. And then okay, fine. Nothing changed. But I started liking certain things. So this woman comes up, a lesbian woman, comes up in the feed, right? And she's doing a challenge. And I looked at the challenge and I was like, first I thought, wow, she is beautiful. Beautiful, not so much as like, how do I explain this? Because she had very masculine energy, but was still a very pretty woman. And no, she's not trans. Her pronoun is she. She's just a lesbian. And so I commented on the photo saying, or the video saying, I'm a little problematic. So I'm just here to casually shoot my shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you? That brought me to bring it up to our mind. So I was like, okay, now do you think that this is, because I consider myself heterosexual. Do you think that this is a problem or not a problem? Or do you think I should be relabeled because I did this? Because I'm standing 10 toes down. I meant that shit. I definitely meant that shit. There's a reason why I said what I said.
Yeah.
I said I didn't find her outfit to be cute. I didn't think she was put together. I mean, all of those things were true. But I was stuck on the post because I found her sexually attractive in some way. I don't care if it was her masculine energy because, like I said, she was masculine but like had a really pretty face also. And I just thought she sexual energy. That's what was coming from me. So that's why I made that distinction. I wasn't saying, hey girl, you cute or whatever, or hey girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, you did that dance. No, I'm saying I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? If the circumstances was different, bitch, I'm trying to fuck a little bit.
So, and I laugh because I felt like this is exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to people that consider themselves heterosexual, myself included, that maybe we're not just black and white. That maybe we are just a lot more fluid than what we like to, than what we actually claim.
Vehemently disagree.
Huh?
I said I vehemently disagree.
Yeah, and she disagrees with that, obviously. But for me, how I look at it, I feel like words matter, right? And the fact that every species on the planet Earth, when they are looking to extend their line, they attract a mate. All right. So for me, my just simple, Neanderthal thinking, when someone says, hey, I'm attracted to you, or hey, that's an attractive person, I prefix that. That's a prefix to them saying, oh, if I had the opportunity, I would. And for me, I always thought that was wrong, which was our point of that episode, was
right.
That just because you find someone that is attractive or that is good looking doesn't necessarily need to be tied to that you want.
And I agree with that wholeheartedly. That's a very good point.
Context is everything. So she sees a young woman who she immediately thought, who she immediately found attractive to. Not only was she attracted to, but the sexual energy was there.
Right.
Okay. So for me, it's like, all right, well, if it's there, if there's potential, not that you would act on it, but that would seem like you aren't just heterosexual, right? And there's no such thing as heterosexual with a little bit of bi tendencies, like no.
Right, exactly. And I don't want to be.
So I would always say, no, just claim it for what it is. Maybe you are a little bit of bisexual.
I disagree.
Okay.
It's so weird because it's like the fabric of the conversation, right? Because when I went to this young lady's page, I said what I said because of the podcast. Like I absolutely like decided words mean things and wanted to be very deliberate in what I was saying. I wasn't complimenting your shirt. I'm not saying that your hairdo looks really nice. Because I see beautiful women on apps all day and I think that they're stunning. I think Lori Harvey is stunning. I talk about her all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not in the least bit. I have no sexual energy towards her, but I think she's beautiful. I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. So because of that, and we made that distinction saying that not because you find somebody attractive does not mean that there's sexual energy behind that. And I know that to be true. So when I saw this young lady, I was just like, oh, this the difference y'all talking about. Because I find her attractive. Like, I think she's a good-looking human being. But I'm trying to fuck a little bit. Like, a little piece. Like, if I had an opportunity. You know, and then I was just like, but I still very much consider myself heterosexual. And it's not because I have anything against being bisexual. I just think that words mean things. And you can't, I feel like there's a purgatory of this argument. There is a place where you really should not be putting your pinky toe, because you know I'm real spicy when it comes to people treating black women, phenotypically black women, as caricatures, or dipping your toe in my race or what we have to go through on a daily basis. You wear box braids, but you could take them out and be Karen the following day. Don't try me on. Like, my aesthetic is not to be tried on. So I feel extremely deliberate when I say I don't want to label myself as bisexual, because I almost feel it would be disrespectful to bisexuals.
Okay.
But there is a purgatory where you're like, now I could be a little bit different. Let me.
Well, that goes back to, I think that sexuality as a whole isn't just like, you know,
it's probably fluid.
It's more fluid, and I think that, you know, this particular instance, at least in my opinion, proves that you're probably not as heterosexual as you think you are. It's like that. What's that joke that who's that guy, the Tiger King or whatever? He's like, do you like porn?
Oh my
you
god,
like the little dicks or the big dicks?
Exactly. You wouldn't if you're looking at dicks.
Yeah,
right.
But no,
exactly.
I just think that for real, I do think that maybe not as heterosexual as you think.
I disagree. I really vehemently disagree, and I disagree for people that experience what I experienced scrolling on TikTok, right? And that is because I feel like, let me take myself out of the equation for a little bit, because I do think that there has been more times, like, if I'm going to be labeling, I find pretty studs. So a female that have very masculine energy chooses to dress more masculine, not all the way like male energy, but then just has a really stunning female face. That does it for me. And it has happened on more than several occasions throughout my life where I'm like, you are gorgeous.
Yeah. So really it's the appeal.
Yes.
Almost the aesthetic of...
It's the aesthetic.
Okay.
Right. Because, I mean, shoot, I was in Jared TC with a girl like that. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's still on my Facebook to this day. And I'm just like, and it's funny because when I was trying to say that, because I'm like, yo, she's a beautiful stud. And people are like, yeah. So, like, it was a weird situation because dudes are extremely... I was gonna say the name, but what's it called? It was one of the soldiers that I knew back in JRTC as well was also attracted to her because she's attractive, and then because of that bit of uniqueness that she has, it just exudes sex. I do feel like certain people just exude sex.
I agree.
Whether it's on purpose or not. So, you know. I'm not bisexual because I'm not going to disrespect bisexual people, but you know what I'm saying? in another day, another time, in another alcohol saturation.
Yeah, alcohol should not be involved when it comes to sex. It just shouldn't.
That's true. That was problematic,
All
but
over the place. It's gross.
I just feel like you trying to fight.
No, not really.
You want to fight? What was the second thing do you have anything to add to it?
Yeah, I do. I got a lot to add to
it.
Because I also, I feel like the conversation, like we just scratched the surface level of it. I'm just not really a confession, but for the most part, I do think that most people who are comfortable with who they are, feel like it's okay to admit to, it's okay to admit when someone's attractive or whatever the case may be. And I think the difference is, right, like me as a heterosexual male, I don't think, I don't look at dudes and say, even when they are like top notch on the appeal list, like I'm trying to think of a figure who everyone just deems sexy.
No, because that would, if you were trying to apply my logic to yours, it wouldn't be a masculine dude. It would be a dude, but he kind of exudes feminine energy.
Okay. Do we know people like that?
For it to count, like those people that look like both male and female. Do you know the kind of people I'm talking about, that they can kind of go either way? No. Malibu Dollface, you don't know this person, but Malibu Dollface is one of those people where he's a handsome man, but also a very beautiful woman. So if you were trying to apply my logic, I feel like that would have to go.
Well, I wasn't even trying to apply the logic, but I was just trying to think of, like, just not even applying that logic, but me, I know that, like, I'm not attracted to men sexually. Like, I just know that. Like, there's nothing, like a booty hole is not attracted to me.
Same. And I'm like,
and even like penises aren't attracted to me either. Like, I'm just not, or I'm not attracted to penises. So it's just like, like I don't see the appeal behind it. I get other people who see the appeal to it, and hell, I think
penises are attractive. Like, I'm not mad at a penis.
Yeah, well, but for me, it's just like I don't care.
Because I
really don't care for it. It doesn't make me feel, like, it doesn't move the needle one way or the other. Like, if I was to see an attractive, like what people deem attractive, because I feel like attractiveness is very subjective. But like, if you take whoever the
like an Idris Elba,
Idris Elba. If he is like, if he's in front of me or whatever, and he's just like, hey. Not hey, but like if he is deliberately naked in front of me for whatever reason, it's not going to move it. Like, I don't care. Like, it's not going to move me one direction or the other. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
there's going to be no sexual tension whatsoever. Because I know for a fact, for me, I just don't find guys attractive no matter how cute or pretty that they are.
But I feel the same exact way.
But I understand the anesthetic of...
Aesthetic.
What?
Anesthetic is medical.
My bad.
No, you good.
Anesthesia is medical. I didn't say anesthesia.
Anesthetic is also medical. It's okay. Yeah.
But I understand the appeal, or being attracted to the appealness, because I do feel like who's the guy that they were killing? That they were Malcolm something or Malik something.
What are you talking about? Tell me, Malcolm.
There was an actor that Charlemagne, the people were killing like 3-4 years ago because he was attracted to trans women.
Oh,
I don't remember his name. But
yeah.
It's
like Malik something.
But I understood where he was coming from, because he wasn't saying that like he has a specific fetish for trans women, but he's attracted to that entire look that they have, and for the most part they are meant and feel like a woman, they themselves identify as women, so he being attracted to women would technically be attracted to them as well. I get that. I understand that.
Malik Yoba.
Yeah, so I just didn't understand why everyone was killing. And I feel like that conversation is still, like, a lot of people are still not.
Well, because first of all, yeah, we're not ready to have it.
I feel like if you are attracted to women the way that you say you are, or if anyone is attracted to women the way that they say you are, and they were to look at a trans woman, I could plead a case that you would probably find trans women attractive too. And a lot of people will sit there and they deny it, and a lot of men, they'll sit there, they deny it, they find it, they fight it. Mm-hmm. But a lot of things that men are attracted to in women, they're also going to find in trans women. So I just don't know.
But also a lot of the
what
trends
the argument.
that cisgendered heterosexual women are following are coming straight from the LGBTQ plus community.
What,
from the jargon, from the look. As a matter of fact,
first off, men aren't attracted to jargon. I don't know who ever told you, but men don't give a shit about jargon. Men don't give a shit about what you eat.
No. It's no. What I'm saying is that like I follow like a lot of transgender women, and something that they said that I really didn't understand until I was like looking at it. They called it femme queen energy, and I definitely think that's a thing. You would very much see this in a Sweetie, in a Nicki Minaj, in a Cardi B, in a Summer Walker. That whole aesthetic is popularized. One, it came from the most like dramatic part, which is drag, and then kind of like when you have something on the runway and then it finally comes to like wearable on the street, it's like a little toned down. That is where we get our quote unquote aesthetic from. So like laying a wig, bitch. Even the way we talk, the way we carry ourselves, having that super feminine energy, because a lot of the times transgender women have to overcompensate.
Feminine energy, I would argue, had to come from women first. And even
this
though
is
it was
true.
popularized in the LGBTQ community, I wouldn't go too far. I wouldn't go say that that they invented the style. No, they probably enhanced it and made it what it is today.
Yeah,
but they still do grab their own energy from women. And
absolutely, it originates.
Most basic need man will say that I want a woman that has nice tits and nice ass for whatever reason. And for the most part, and this is not a secret. I feel like I'm not saying anything controversial. Like, we know that men are attracted to women, because of their bodies.
Yeah,
and
everybody's attracted to people.
I'm not saying anything controversial. So, with that being said, if you are attracted to someone's body type, and a trans woman has that body type, then you're probably attracted to that trans woman too. And I don't understand why that's so controversial.
I think it's controversial because of the stigma around the LGBTQ plus community, toxic masculinity, that you can no longer be masculine.
Well, let's take that out of it, right? Let's take all, because I feel like those subjects need
their own type of discussion. Okay.
They are important, and that they do play a large factor. But I'm talking about apples to apples. If you say you're attracted to ass and titties, and people have ass and titties,
and you like the ass and titties, then it's less about the person.
Exactly.
You just like ass and titties.
Yep. And I would say that as long as the person has asses and titties, you're looking. And you're looking because you want to exude that sexual energy, or whatever the case may be. And for the most part, you probably wouldn't care, if I'm honest. And I might say something. I think that most people look at that and be like, oh, what is he trying to admit to? Nothing. I just feel like if you're only attracted to ass and titties, and someone has ass and titties, you're not going to care at first. Now you can go. Now we can then. That leads to the conversation of men wanting to know and all that other bullshit that whatever arguments that people say that there are. But I just feel like at the core of it, men are attracted to women's bodies.
Right.
And if someone has women's body,
a woman's body,
a woman's body,
and presents like a woman,
walks like a woman, then I would say that you are probably attracted to trans women as well. Before any ideologies get entered in, the core at its core,
agreed.
At its core, you will probably find
100%
yourself
agreed.
looking at someone who could possibly be a trans woman.
100% agree.
And I personally don't see anything wrong with that.
Well, men feel tricked.
I'm still, as a man, I'm trying to work through the extensive psychological warfare that men jump through.
Very psychological.
That men jump through this to where they just don't understand that, because that just seems very crystal clear to me.
It's not. And then there's a part of where now that we have the technologies that we have, where you can be definitely passable or unclockable, like they say in the community. I don't want to misuse y'all words, you know what I'm saying, like I'm over here trying to be an ally. So I feel like men feel that when they are attracted to a trans person, male or female, they feel duped. They feel like you're distorting something that I am supposed to be enjoying. I like women. I like ass and titties on women. And you're distorting that. They're making it negative before it even came out the gate.
Yeah.
Right? Because that ass on that trans person was never meant to attract you. It was meant to help them live in their truth, and you need to deal with yourself.
Got it. And I agree with that, right? I do agree with that. I don't have any rebuttal for it. But there was something that in that statement that you said.
About what?
What I got out of it was that you didn't give them the opportunity to decide.
To know what it is they're looking at. They feel duped.
Correct. So choice and consent sometimes rely, they intertwine with each other.
Very true.
That's a time where consent and choice rely, because I feel like a lot of today's conflicts that happen between people is usually due to a misunderstanding or miscommunication.
Yes.
And I also feel like if you take the opportunity to live in your truth and explain your truth to somebody, and you give them the ability to make a decision, most of the times I think that a logical person, and most men are not logical, unfortunately, but a logical person will then take that back and say, you know what, you gave me the choice. I'm either going to choose to mess with you or I'm not going to mess with you.
Right. But I feel like especially with the murders that's going on in the trans community and how it's continued the whole time, like it's very rampant in the trans community as a whole. I feel like when people kill trans people, they're literally trying, I would dare say, to do it to themselves. No, because really, if you have an issue with a trans person, it's really the issue with you, right? It is that, like, sexuality is so personal.
Isn't it still a power struggle with that? I mean,
it's not really a power struggle at all, because it's like sexuality is something that is deeply rooted in humanity. We need sexuality in order to keep our race here on earth, right? We gotta keep fucking and having these babies. Like, it has to happen. So because it's something that you cannot control, and then you add that layer of feeling like you can't trust what you're seeing, and then you have all these issues with yourself because now you got to prove it, right? You got to be like, okay, well, if I don't really like trans people, or if I'm really this way, now I got to do something to you, like off the hood. Meanwhile, in between time, that trans person is just trying to live their life.
It's not just people from the hood.
No. When I say off the hood, what I mean is like saying that statement not as in the actual hood, but like off of who I stand to be as a male, as a female, because I don't know how often that happens, but you know what I'm saying, I'm just trying to be fair out here in these streets. When they do perpetrate crimes against the trans community, it is to say, you've duped me in something that's deeply rooted in me. And now I'm going to take my power. You're right, power struggle.
It's a power
now I'm
struggle.
going to take
a
my
power
power
dynamic.
back. I'm going to take my power back. You tricked me, and I'm going to get you.
Well, first off, crime happens because of opportunity. And then you add the layer of having the power to do so on top of the opportunity, and it is an absolute, it's an absolute recipe for disaster.
Right.
And I think it's important to highlight that a lot of things that are happening is because people are trying to take back their power. This idea that society has implanted in many of us, and this is me. No, go ahead. This is me not speaking for men or not trying to defend men, but just really grappling with the concept of power, because I feel like if you understand how people feel powerful in moments, then we can easily identify those people and potentially stop them before they go on and hurt somebody else.
It's problematic because
it might be problematic.
It is very problematic.
I also feel like this idea of mind your fucking business or mind your own business, that shit needs to almost stop, because a lot of people are minding their fucking business and
getting killed out here.
People are getting hurt behind that philosophy. So I would say that if you pay attention to people and your surroundings, you can easily identify someone that is looking to get their rocks off because of power versus someone that's just looking for a good time. They stick out like a sore thumb at all times, mainly. So
you're just gonna walk in the middle of the podcast, Victor?
It's not a podcast. We're doing a discussion of power.
Oh, I mean, discussion of power.
I'm supposed to ignore him so that we can keep recording. I know, she kills me.
Sorry.
No, it's gonna be a disaster in editing.
Can you put it in the bloopers?
I have to do all this myself, and
can you put it in the bloopers?
Sure.
Guys, I've arrived. I've arrived. I have bloopers.
She kills me. But it's just, I don't know. I just find it difficult to really. I just find it difficult for us to sit here and say we have a problem, blah blah blah. And I feel like I'm going off a tangent because we didn't start this conversation about that. But if we have a problem, the only way that we can really change it is to really understand it and identify these people before it actually happens. But we don't do that because we're so worried about minding our business.
Right. But then, going back to the original point, sexuality, I feel like if you want to be private in your sexuality, I feel like that is your goddamn right.
It is.
You're
hell? Absolutely right. No, he doesn't show up. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
So it's kind of like, for me, it's like, I get what you're saying, but I do agree with the mind your goddamn business. Pause. Victor, could you make any more noise?
I was just thinking, I was like, damn, I hope that's not like messing the thing up.
I hate him. I hate him, Armand.
I'm so hungry.
Victor, get out and never come back. Yes, there's no milk. Do you know why?
I bought
there's milk.
Because people like you, Victor.
I was going to buy milk, but we only have cow milk, and I know you guys don't drink that.
Well, no, it's not that we don't drink it. We can't because we're lactose intolerant.
Yeah, my ass will explode. What was the second topic that we were going to talk about? Actually, before Victor gets the fuck out of the frame. Put this in the bloopers.
Let me just pour my milk and I'll go.
Like, you're taking too long at this point. At this point, you're taking too long. At this point, I already hate you. What is with these people having this weird ass hamster? That's bizarre.
Sorry.
Killing us.
Yeah.
You said 12 o'clock, man.
It's 12 o'clock.
No, you said you wasn't getting off until 12 o'clock.
I know.
You went in for a total of an hour.
I hate that kid, man.
Yeah, I don't. I didn't really have a second topic. That was my big one.
I thought we were going to talk. Okay. All right. So, back to the whole premise of minding your business. I do think in sexuality, you should mind your damn business.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, worry about yourself.
You shouldn't make it your lifelong issue. You shouldn't make it your lifelong mission to put yourself in other people's bedrooms, for one. And two,
except
it goes back to the larger conversation of
if you're out here hurting people
about sex.
I agree that we should openly talk about sex, but I feel like what are the main things that we got out of this conversation, right? Mm-hmm. The main things is that I feel that there's a bit of disrespect with me labeling myself as bisexual or even sexually fluid. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not mad at that label. Sexually fluid is okay with me. I do think that there should be some type of purgatory to say if you enjoy an aesthetic, kind of like you were saying with the ass and titties, you're allowed to just continue liking that aesthetic. I like the aesthetic of, I guess, like, I don't know, what was I saying? The people that look like a male and a female and they can kind of pass for both. It's just, I think it's one of the most beautiful things, and whether that person identifies as male or female, like, I'm kind of here for it. Like, I'm trying to fuck regardless. But
you're not really. I feel like you capping, but whatever.
You know, I am capping, but what I'm saying is that's my energy. That's my energy. Like, you can get it regardless. All right. And then you kind of came in with the whole, I don't know, a lot of the male stuff that you say, I don't think that I disagree with it. I just can't relate.
Yeah. Well, I don't relate to your stuff, but to me, it just sounded like maybe you're a little bit more bisexual than you think you are. Like,
definitely not bisexual, y'all.
I would say that you're probably bisexual, but
Michael B. Jordan, I'm still
it's
trying to fuck. I'm just playing.
Bisexual means that you're sexually attracted to both men and women.
Yeah, but I don't even like Lori Harvey.
It wasn't about Lori Harvey.
I know. I just wanted to...
Deflecting, but
Anyway. It's not deflecting. I genuinely don't feel like an aesthetic means that you then have to pick a sexual orientation.
I'm not saying that.
But that is what you're saying, right? You're saying, hey.
No, I'm just saying that maybe you should be more open to the fact that maybe you're not as heterosexual as you think you are. Because I feel like there's just absolutely a set of unwritten rules that everyone talks about that everyone like bestows on people when we start talking about sexuality, and heterosexual people tend to have these unwritten law books of things you can and can't do or things you can't say about other people or about anything when it comes to sex. So It's like, well, I think we are more liberal in our way of thinking.
Yes, very.
And for the most part, we don't really care.
No.
Because it doesn't necessarily affect us per se.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I do think that if one of us or both of us are more fluid or on a spectrum or whatever the case may be, then I would say that we are probably more leaning towards bisexuality than we are heterosexuality. And then just taking it out, just like what you described, you saw a woman who you found attractive, mm-hmm. and to a point to where it's like, if given an opportunity, you would probably have sex with that person. And
also going into it, I knew for a fact she was a woman.
Yeah. So to me that just taking ourselves out of the situation, to me that sounds like bisexuality to me.
I feel like it's not even the label that bothers me. Actually, nothing about it bothers me. It's just, I just feel like if it's not more consistent, mm-hmm. then you cannot try to find a word that's all encompassing, like saying, hey, I'm bisexual because I will have relationships with this person or this person. Mm-hmm. It's very different, because I heard a psychologist say that and I'm so happy to hear her say this. Whoever you are, girl, I'm gonna look you up, but I don't know your name right now. This lady, she was asked a question, and the question was, are you responsible, or are you indicative, or I feel like that's definitely, I used that word incorrectly, but are you the porn you watch, basically? So if you are out here just into the kinkiest stuff of life when you're, because she basically summarized it by saying, like, after you've orgasmed or brought yourself to orgasm and you look at it like, oh, I can't believe I just watched that. And then I was like,
I usually don't feel like that.
I do all the time. So I was like, I said, girl, thank you so much for helping me out. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was out here being Dexter, but I'm not. But she basically said one has absolutely nothing to do with the other. It's in a completely different part of your brain. The things that you are sexually attracted to have so little to do with what you would choose in your in a rightful mind, I guess.
Okay.
Because I be needing to know. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I be into some shit online, and I just want to know, just make me weird.
Yeah.
And she said, no, even if you seek out that porn, you're aroused by that type of stimuli, you masturbate to it, orgasm by it, and then immediately after you're disgusted by it, it doesn't matter. Like, that's normal. I know you're laughing. I needed that.
Well, no, because I'm trying to think about your search history and, like, what is she watching that she just feels disgusted? So I don't really feel disgusted by it, but then again, I feel like my preference for porn has changed drastically in the last couple of years. So it could just be me.
Yeah, I'm into some
weird shit. The only thing I'm looking for is like a wet towel, you know, at this point, but whatever. A hot rag.
I'm into some stuff, so I just be wanting to know, because I was actually very curious about that, and it was quite a long video, and I watched some follow-up content of hers, or her being interviewed or asked questions, and it was just so nice to know that your mind, while you're sexually aroused, is actually a bit different from your mind just walking around. And they haven't quite figured it all out yet, but it's the same way that you can not be sexually attracted to something on a regular basis. have full sexual arousal towards that stimuli, orgasm, and then go right back to hating it. It's really bizarre. Humans are weird. Man,
I want to apply that to theory. Not theory, but I want to apply that to like an actual scenario.
For what it's worth, I don't know if I'm being really super toxic about this, but I don't think this applies to down low men. So what I said.
Okay. Well, I mean, I do want to apply that specifically to a scenario, but I also don't want to out my own history. So there's that. Not really. I don't have any concerns about it. But I just don't. I know the audience who I speak to, so I just don't want people to get the wrong idea of it. But taking me out of the situation, from what you just described, it sounds like, hey, I am a man who, on a normal basis, don't like to watch gay porn, and then
yes,
all of a sudden,
that's literally the example.
When I am aroused, I am into gay porn, and then I masturbate and get off to gay porn, and then as soon as I'm done, I hate gay porn again. To me, I listen to that, and I think a lot of people would listen to that and be like, no, you're probably gay.
No. So that was one of the examples that she was given. And it's not like, I hate this now. She's saying, for example, like, hey, I'm a guy. I don't always watch gay porn. That is not always what I watch.
Okay.
But I have watched gay porn and then become aroused by said porn, masturbated, and then went back to being disinterested in it, like not seeking it out. It's not something.
Conscious choice to find, not you, but this person made a conscious choice to find gay porn.
Not particularly. It was kind of like.
First off, we all know that with technology today, your phone is usually in your hand. You're not watching porn on a big screen or anything like that. If you are, you're psycho. But for the most part, most people who do, they're probably looking at their phone. Mm-hmm. And we all know what PH stand for. We all know what X and XX. There are clear categories. Mm-hmm. Yes, they have compilation videos, but you're not just going to stumble onto.
I mean, I know what you're saying, but what that person was saying was that no, I didn't go looking for it, but yeah, I was like in a forever scroll, and I was like, oh, okay, let me watch this. And then got an erection, and then masturbated, and then
nothing about that confuses me except for the part where you're gonna insist that this person's gonna insist that they're not gay, and it's like, you're probably bisexual, dude. But whatever.
So here's the thing. No.
Okay. You're right, because I'm not in a position to tell anyone who they are or what they identify as.
You know what I'm saying? And also, you're not a professional, and she says as a professional.
But I also feel like that same person's going to turn around and go on Facebook and spew Christian verses, Bible verses,
oh my gosh,
about why you shouldn't be gay. And I just don't trust people like that.
That's not a thing. And the person wasn't even mad about it. They weren't even like
they didn't even. I feel like they would be.
They didn't even have like a
person.
I hate this. Like, no, that was one of the examples. There was also an example about incest. There was an example about bestiality. There was an example about. It was just like a bunch of different things where people are like, hey, I have been aroused by this before. Am I my porn? Mm-hmm. Am I my porn? Will in real life presented with the situation, will I act it out? And the doctor was like, probably you won't.
Yeah.
You probably won't. So
the fact that I feel like the fact that he's asking the question, am I, will I turn into the porn that I watch? Probably means that he's not comfortable with himself.
No, he's just like, hey, what the hell does this mean? That was what the doctor was saying.
That you are attracted to. Okay.
You stop. That's
I'm
the
sorry.
perk. That's that.
You're
yeah,
right.
You're
I'm overstepping.
And it's definitely not black and white. And there, like I said, I think that there's a purgatory that exists, and it was really.
But again, I'm not looking for a black and white label. I just want people to really be open about the idea.
And that was the thing. There was no negative. There was no negative anything or anyone. Well, from what she was rating, or because the person asked the question, they're anonymous, and then she answers the question. That's kind of how it works. And I just thought she was just super honest. No one didn't seem upset about it. More so, the people seemed concerned. And I didn't really see the gay porn people too concerned in the same way that the bestiality people and the incest people were like, yo, I don't, like, if I keep watching, you know, taboo porn, will I become attracted to my sister? Like, am I secretly attracted to, like, what is happening? And she just made it so clear that no, we are very much not the porn that we choose to watch.
Okay.
It's very, very, it's two different things, because being stimulated in that way is very different than acting out sex in real life. So I thought that was very interesting. And like I said, I'm gonna be 100% open out here in these streets. Thank God for you, girl. Because I'm into some weird ass stuff, man. I'll be in there flicking my bean to the worst stuff, man.
Against your cap it again, but whatever.
You know what I'm saying? I just be out here doing weird stuff, man.
I'm gonna get you the biggest fitted hat ever. I think I still got my fitted hat somewhere too.
That's okay.
What you think? What do you think?
That's okay. You know what it is? I brought that up because of the shit that I was looking up last night. And every single time that I go through that, I feel so comfortable. You know, like those Pats commercials where the girl's like running through like the pasture and like all the flowers are going up and she's acting like she don't got no springtime allergies. Yeah, that commercial. I feel like her because I don't feel, I don't feel like conflicted. I don't feel imprisoned by the weird shit I look up online. Boop.
What else you got?
That was kind of it. That was it.
So what we've learned is that sexuality is still something that humans don't really understand, and that just as we can be open-minded about it, we also need to understand that we just don't understand it.
Yes.
Is that where
I think that is where we're ending at. We don't get it. We don't have the answers, Sway. Because he feels one way. I mean, like I said, we have like this gray area where we agree, but for the most part, I feel like it's extremely individualistic. We should be definitely more open about it.
It's absolutely, but because I know you, that's why I was like, oh, all right, you're bisexual. And you was like, no,
because I never did that. You're so dramatic.
And I was just like, well, it's not a big deal, Shanna. Like, what difference does
You're
it make?
so dramatic.
Just like,
that was not even a thing.
It was. I had
no. He was like, hey, so that means you're probably like pretty fluid, because I brought it to his attention. By the way, it's a conversation that I brought up, and so I was just kind of like,
she didn't say it.
No,
I did. Okay,
I said no. I disagree with you. Like, I don't think that means that I'm bisexual. And like, Shanna, we were just we were talking about this.
Would you say that you're attracted to people regardless of gender identity?
Yes.
There's a word for that.
What is that called?
Pansexual.
Yeah, because like Jules from Euphoria.
Okay.
Hot as fuck to me. Like, yes.
I think the actor's name is Hunter Schafer, I believe. But
please and thank you to Jules.
But okay, I could see that.
Yeah, it doesn't, to me, I guess it's an aesthetic, like I said, to just begin with. Somebody that looks male or female, and I don't really give a fuck as what you identify as.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a part of that.
Yeah, and I would say that this particular actor that you're speaking of, yeah, she's a good-looking person, like, period. Like, she is a great-looking person.
Yes. Very true.
Yeah, I don't. But you're saying that you do find her sexually attractive? Is that what you're saying?
I find her to be attractive.
Okay.
I have seen scenes where I've been like, okay, you've crossed the threshold from just being an attractive person, like a Zendaya, to me being like, oh, okay, to where it's sexual energy, but not often and not like, and not consistent, but that very much gives me. You know what I'm saying? And it very much goes along with the video that I showed you of the young lady dancing, where it's like, you definitely have masculine energy, but you have a very feminine face and aesthetic. I don't know what about the confusion that I like, but the confusion gives me life. I don't know. I like Confucius.
Yeah, no. I'm really trying to like search it within myself and be like, what what do I like per se? And to be honest, I'm very basic, so
You think
I'll
so?
leave it at that. Yeah, no, I think I am. I'm very basic. Like, you know, at this
Okay.
point, I just like sex in general. So there's that.
He's like, hey, I like the sex.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah. Let's keep doing the sex.
But other than that, it's like, it's just mainly women. Like I said, like just I don't look at guys and it's like, I'm attracted. It just doesn't happen for me.
Right.
In fact, I think given the circumstances, if someone said, "Hey, you have to do it for money," or like just any dire circumstance that you want to insert here, I probably wouldn't be able to do it because
You wouldn't be able to perform. I know you.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
I don't even know if you'd be able to get a chode.
I could probably work it out because I feel like anything, like if you give me give me about 2.5 minutes.
Armand, the
2.5
way
minutes
the way you
and
think
my
about
trusty left, and
the
it'll be
way
there.
the way you think about like butts. It's the way you think about butts.
Yeah, but sex isn't just butts. Like
No,
there's
I'm
other forms
saying-
of sex outside of it. And
I
I'm
get
just
that.
saying
I get that.
any
But I
form
don't
of
see
sex-
you bottoming.
Any form of sex.
I don't see you bottoming.
But any form. But I'm looking at it this way. Any form of sex, would I be able to perform? With just me and a male, probably not. Like, nah. But I would say that again. You give me 3.5 minutes with my eyes closed, my left hand, it's done. It's done. That was
Okay.
a joke, by the way. That was a joke. I'm gonna edit that one out.
I mean, I didn't think it was a bad joke. I don't think it was a bad joke.
No,
I'm not. That kind of shit don't make me uncomfortable at all.
Let's be honest, because I only ask myself because again, having an open mind and really thinking about it, what do I find attractive? And I always go back to the female form. And,
Right.
Yeah, it's like even trans women. It's like, I think there's some of them out there that's like, all right, that's cool.
You know what? It's so
That's
funny
cool.
because I enjoy following trans women and like just from afar. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like all up at the meetings. Like I'm about to tell y'all how y'all be, but I really quite enjoy their perspective on a lot of different things, and I feel like you see or you are exposed to a lot of trans women. And I just haven't found you to be attracted to any, which I find to be wild because I feel like a lot of the trans women that I follow, they are at different points of passable, and some of them are like passable, like transitioning before they hit puberty. There was absolutely no voice drop, no way for you to outwardly tell. And you just have not been on the hook, which I found to be a little bizarre because I'm like, okay, maybe he only really liked thick Spanish girls. I know that it's just
Where did that entire like that? No, that's a stereotype. I don't like it.
okay.
Pineapples. I don't like it.
Pineapples. That's,
Yeah, no.
no, but like that's why I don't really even. I think you're very heterosexual because of that. Because I follow some bad bitches.
All right, so not that I'm going to air out all my business, but I feel like I've had enough experience with people. Mm-hmm. Like my experience isn't short, right?
Right.
So I also feel like I've been exposed enough to where it's like, all right, I could see how people end up in that circumstance. Because let's be honest, people, at least for me, I'm not just having sex just to have sex, right? There's a connection, there's a familiar bond to it.
Right.
And like, we have a prior existing relation, like sex is talked about with me. Anyone that I've ever had a partner with, sex is talked about. Like even with us, we talked about sex.
Right.
So I just feel like we just not talked about enough. But I do think that, for the most part, I personally won't end up in a situation where I won't know because I'm having conversations. I'm asking those questions. I'm getting tested. I'm doing all that. I'm doing what I deem is right for me, so that way I can then enjoy myself. Because if I do, when I do get in, when I do engage and participate, it's we know exactly what it is.
Exactly.
We know exactly what it is. There's no question or hesitation or a little bit of, well, maybe I shouldn't have, and there's been very, very, very few times in my very young day where it wasn't talked about. In fact, it was one of those things where I learned right before I graduated that I knew I needed to have these conversations with people, because people are evil, and people will do things to hurt you as soon as you expose, you put yourself in that position to be hurt. So I learned very early on from an experience that my friend went through that I got to talk. I got to be loud about it. I got to ask them straight up, because I never want to be put in a position to where I feel like I need to defend myself. So no. That's why I feel comfortable with it, because it's like whatever.
But that's something that I can honestly attest to, as far as if there's attraction there, or if I think you have attraction to cis women, but I also think you have a deliberate attraction, meaning that you must know a bit about whatever it is that you're attracted to before you have concluded that you are attracted. And I feel like that's really responsible. A little odd, but responsible. But I am more so like hubba and ask questions later. You're very deliberate in what you choose to even let into your sexual space. I really quite like that about you. But it also made for very interesting, where you're the only male in my life at 30 years old, military or otherwise, where I can honestly say I have never seen a remote attraction to a trans woman ever.
Well, I think it's also proximity too, right? Like I don't know anyone personally. The only thing I know of is through proxy through you. But
right.
For me,
but at the same
I don't know any personally. I feel like you attract what you're used to, and I'm just not in those spaces. But I go back to, because I am so open with my sexuality, and I know who I am. If you would have asked me, hey, would you be interested in it? I'd give it a thought.
See, it's not that I don't believe you, because I genuinely do. I do believe you. It's just, I don't know. I feel like that's a really responsible thing, or like how you choose to be is so responsible, and actually I commend it. And like I said, it's not about knowing a trans person.
No,
It's not like you don't know of trans people, but it's because of how much by proxy you're exposed. I would be completely
I'm really
comfortable.
not exposed that much. You listening to it is not gonna do anything for me. You following, viewing, or following people interacting, interacting with the few that you do know. That's not gonna affect me in any way. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know them personally. Now, excuse me. I think that if we were to, invite people into our home and we hung out with them, we got to know them, things like that, then yeah, I could see that, because now I have direct exposure to it. It's there, but. No, I mean, again, I'm very liberal in the sense that I just want people to live life to their fullest. Whatever makes them happy, I'm down for, as long as it doesn't infringe on
my rights,
not just my rights, but other people's rights. Like, I'm very much for the people in that aspect. Like, again, and I feel like I try to make that clear with everyone. I am for the people. Whatever makes people happy, I am cool with, as long as we're not out here killing people and on their rights,
telling people what they can and cannot do.
I'm all for it. So if someone says, "Hey, I identify as X, Y, and Z," I'm cool with that.
Live your best life.
And again, if someone
I can attest
hey,
to that.
Would you? And again, if I'm propositioned, hey, what you think of this particular trans woman? I think about it. I would think about it long and hard too. Pause. No, but I would think about it. Again, there will be several conversations that will happen, but the idea, like, am I closed-minded enough to where I would say, no trans women? No, I'm not. I'm not closed-minded at all. I'm open.
I concur. I don't know. I guess that is all that we've learned, but I don't think we need to have another conversation about this, probably offline, and then maybe we can weave it into maybe another discussion. But I do want to kind of pick your brain about this, like, deliberate responsibility that you have, because I just don't have that. You know what I'm saying? They were so mean to me.
Well, for me, that goes back to, because I feel like all the time, any second of the day. It doesn't matter what time of the day. I'm always thinking about it. Can't help it. This is how I am. So yes, I make
really.
Sure yeah. Well,
you've told me that.
Yeah,
you've told me that.
Yeah, there's been plenty of times I could be eating oodles and noodles. I'm thinking about it, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So, I don't know why you're like that.
No, well, again, I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I wish there was more of it. Mm-hmm. So it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I think about it because it's just not happening a lot. But I think if I get to a space to where it is happening a lot, I'm not thinking about it as much. I'll be ready to move on. But because it's not there all the time, it's like, I fiend for it. So that's a bad choice of words too, because I don't want to give people the impression that I am like this horn dog going around.
Definitely a horn dog.
Leaving stains everywhere every chance I get. That's
horn dog peeing on all the trees.
Yeah, I'm not lifting my leg up, marking territory and
stuff.
You
need to.
No, I'm leaving it all in. Even with Victor, I'm leaving it all in.
You are so irresponsible.
I know, but no, for real, I just feel like
I don't know.
I feel like everyone should talk about it. The more we talk about it, the better we can educate people on doing what's right versus people just chucking it up to the wind. I just feel like there's way too much carelessness. And again, I'm not to a point to where, and I don't think I'll ever be. I am never to a point to where it's like, oh, I'm going to risk my life and things like that to have sex with someone. That's crazy. That sounds nuts to me.
And see.
No, I'm talking about like no. Think about it. You like the worst thing for me is for me to step out and be like, I'm gonna do it because that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know people in this area. I feel like we live in a very conservative area, and it would be taboo just to even think about it at this point. So it's just like, but it's just not worth all the other headaches. I like to be upfront and honest about it when it comes to stuff like this.
Okay, we can concur.
But you can follow me on FetLife. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, what is that? What is that?
It's a social media for
horn dogs?
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, man. There's a whole bunch of people on there, but
it's for horn dogs.
You can follow me there.
It's for the horn dogs.
I think my name is Knight in Shining Armor. Maybe Captain Saberho.
Herman.
Sorry. These are a bunch of inside jokes I have with myself because I ain't got no friends up here.
Fuck off.
No, let me stop. All right, so
there's nothing else I want to say. There's not a goddamn thing.
Listen. Here at the BDM podcast, we want to say that this has been another successful rendition of Discussion of Power.
Stay on topic.
Discussion of Power. We'll see y'all later.